Hey, welcome back to Leafy Life. I'm Susie and this channel is my space to share my love of houseplants.
In this house I am tending to leafy life, reaching green and bending toward the light. Leafy life, this is my leafy life.
Good morning. It is a beautiful day, a gorgeous October sunshiny day, and I'm on my way to Frome this morning. The kids are at school. It's a Friday. I have the day to myself. I have the car and yeah, fully charged, and it's just so lovely to be in the car listening to some planty audio stuff and really excited to get exploring the lovely village or town of Frome. It looks beautiful from what I've seen so far. Never been there before, and yeah, it just looks really gorgeous. And of course I'm on my way to a plant shop there. So I'm gonna get brumming on now and see you when we get there. Okay, I've arrived and that was a tiring drive. I'm just taking a moment and then I'm gonna go find a cup of tea somewhere before I go and explore up Catherine Street, which is a cute little street where there is a plant shop called Pilea Plant Shop. It's a beautiful day and the scenery has just been gorgeous. I think I'm gonna have to plan a holiday in this area because it's just beautiful. And yeah, driving through Frome, it looks gorgeous. Lots of lovely houses and the stone colour here is beautiful. Lovely pale sort of golden beige colour. So I will show you around Frome a little bit in a minute. We have a very full selection of all the colours of Photonia here. Love that little green and white one there. Well, here I am at the very beautiful Pilea plant shop in Frome, and I'm gonna go inside and explore now, and I'll take you with me. So this is Lula, who owns and runs the shop here in Frome. Hello.
Hi Susan.
So how long have you had the shop open?
We've been here since 2019. So we have been here for 4 years.
Wow.
Here at Pilea Plant Shop, we are really passionate about helping people to look after and understand the plant that they've bought in
That's
store.
so good, with the care cards and things.
Exactly that.
That's
we
so helpful.
Write and we print off individual care cards that come with every single plant, so that when people get the plant home, they feel confident in sort of placing, how to look after it.
Okay.
And we're always here to help if anybody has any problems, issues, things they're
Yeah,
worried about.
so you can kind of like follow up if they inquire and need help.
Exactly, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so you had to weather the whole COVID shutdown kind of stuff. So how was that for you guys?
Yeah, we managed to navigate our way through COVID quite well. Myself and Max, we...
over there. Hello, Max. Hello.
We were able to work on online orders, and it was really lovely. We had a big community of people both locally and nationwide who were really passionate about getting through lockdown by ordering a new small plant each week.
Absolutely. That is a good method.
And so we managed to make it through.
Yeah,
and we're
that's so good. That's so good that you're able to get over that hump.
Yeah.
And now you're thriving with people popping in person. That's so lovely.
Yeah,
it's a gorgeous venue.
It was nice after COVID when everybody was allowed out again. You know, buying a plant, it's really nice to see a plant in person. You know, you're able to check the condition, the shape. You can really be drawn to
and fall in love
plant.
with a particular one.
Exactly. So it's really nice to be open again and for people to come in store.
That's so lovely. So you run workshops here as well, I believe?
Yes. We do run workshops.
What kind of thing?
So we run workshops making different types of terrariums, and we also do kokedama moss balls.
Okay.
And one of our most popular courses is the introduction to houseplants and how to keep them happy.
Oh, that's good.
So people come along and we do lots of propagation. We do lots of talking about the different ways of keeping your plants happy and what to think about when choosing a house plant.
Oh my goodness, that would have been so handy when I started out. I just didn't know anything and I didn't know any of the basics. You just had to kind of like free fall.
Yes, exactly. And it's nice to like experience the things and learn them through the experience of looking after your plants. But I think people find it a really useful course for sort of building confidence. Knowing which plants will work in their particular space.
That's so handy. Well, I have loved looking around today and it's a beautiful shop and I love what I've taken home. So thank you for packaging them up and giving me the little care cards. That will really help. So thank you. Thank you. You too. By this point, it was getting well into the afternoon and I still hadn't had a cup of tea since before the school run, so it was long overdue. So just there on the left where you saw those ladies is a little cafe called Moo and Two, and I headed there following Lula's recommendation. It was absolutely lovely. You'll see that again in a minute. But I had a little bit more exploration on the way, enjoying the general lovely light and architecture and lovely golden stone, and just enjoyed some shop windows. This charity shop was closed, but had a great display of leopard print and jungly theme, and this leafy dress, if it had been open, I definitely would have tried that on. I went and found a lovely bakery and bought some goodies for the kids for after school, and it was just, as I said, it's a very gorgeous place to roam about. This is the view from Two and Moo, and I sat in the window seat enjoying a very large mug of tea. The mug itself was made just a few metres up the street at a pottery called Ground. It was just really beautiful, flecked and tactile, really enjoyable to drink from. Here's the pottery itself, so you can just wander in there and buy the same mugs or something else that takes your fancy. So hopefully one day I'll have one of those myself. They do also do like V60 style coffee filter thingies, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And the brownie that I ate in the cafe was absolutely sumptuous, delectable, every mouthful. I had to savour it. So yeah, that set me up beautifully for the drive home. Well, the Frome trip was actually a couple of Fridays ago now, and yeah, life's just been very busy and other things have kept sneaking in ahead of this, so it's nice to finally sit down and show you all the beautiful things that I brought home. As you can see from the video, I thoroughly enjoyed exploring Frome, and I knew that I would love Frome itself, but one of my absolute primary reasons to go there was also to explore the Pilea or Pilea. I've been calling it Pilea. I'm hearing other people now calling it Pilea plant shop. Yeah, I really wanted to explore a really properly devoted houseplant shop, because I'd never been to an actual houseplant shop. I'd only been to shops that sell houseplants, you know, kind of like DIY stores, supermarkets, gift shops that have some houseplants, and obviously some online. But yeah, it's kind of weird that it's taken me this long to go and see a dedicated houseplant shop. But I guess with lockdown, and yeah, I have others nearby that I want to explore, and Frome was certainly not on my doorstep, but I just really fancied a day out and a long drive. We recently had to swap our cars around because ours has got very, very old and chugs a lot of diesel, and we were really blessed to be able to get hold of an electric car, and it has been really, really fun to get acquainted with that, and it's just really transformed my journeys because it's got some technology on board, and I've been able to enjoy listening to music a bit easier, because everything in the old car was broken and it was very hard to do. Anyway, that's an aside. So yeah, I loved exploring the actual Pilea plant shop, but along the way, before I got there, I discovered a beautiful florist as well. So I was delighted by finding even more houseplants in the florist. It was called Bramble and Wild, and it just smelt so lovely when I went in there. I remarked upon it to the lady who was working in there, and she said she really couldn't smell it anymore, but that's how smells work, isn't it? You get acclimatized to them and you stop noticing them. But I've always loved the smell of florists, and that one just smelled particularly good, I think because it was a combination of plants and the flowers, and I don't know, it was just a really fresh, lovely autumnal day, and it just smelled really good. So I explored in there for a little while before going on up to the actual plant shop, and I did come home with quite a big plant from Bramble and Wild in the end, which I'll show you in a second. But as I said, starting small, I bought these. I think they were 50p each. They are actually chilies. That's the tiniest one, and they've been dried, and obviously they're a lovely pumpkin-y shape for this time of year, so I brought these home as a little souvenir for everybody else, and they've been sitting happily on our sort of autumnal hallway decoration area. Ooh, clang, sorry, radiator. So that's that, and then yeah, I did say I was starting smallest first, but actually the first plant I'm showing you is the biggest one I brought home. But anyway, oh, here it comes. So I have never had one of these before. It is a ZZ plant. I will put its proper long name on the screen because I can neither remember it or say it right now. I'm gonna have to bring it down to show you the full. There we go. Isn't it lovely? It's just such an absolutely healthy, gorgeous specimen, and I couldn't resist. This had been on my list for a while. I've never had one before, even though it's one of the plants that are considered, you know, real good beginner basic, and quite popular, quite easy to come by. But yeah, I'd not actually seen one in person until quite recently. I think I saw one at the Coombe Garden Centre. But yeah, when I saw these in Bramble and Wild, I just really properly fell in love even more. I think when you see a plant that you like and you see a really nice, big, healthy, just perfect version of it, it's just delectable, isn't it? And this one, yeah, it's just so shiny. It's a lovely shape. They had quite a few of them and they were all beautiful, so it was very hard to choose. But yeah, this is the one that I appreciated the shape of the most. And like I said, it's just perfect. It's just so pristine and in such good condition. And yeah, I've been trying to decide where to put it in the house. It's great that it's quite upright and not too wide. what I've been finding in my house is that I don't have a lot of room for very wide spreading plants, because we don't have a lot of sort of big deep surfaces. The windowsills are all quite narrow, about like that. So yeah, they can't fit a big pot on, and they can't fit anything that's going to like touch up against the glass, particularly in winter, well actually in summer too. And yeah, there's not a lot of kind of sort of floor nooks for wide plants to stand. So this one's lovely because it can fit in quite a few places around the house. So I've been experimenting. It was in a corner of my bedroom, which worked fine, but actually I realised it was getting quite bright sun there at some times of the day, and it really doesn't need bright sunshine. You know, the ZZ plant is known for being very tolerant of all sorts of conditions and doing fine in quite deep shade. So I kind of wanted to make the most of that feature and put it somewhere that wasn't so bright. So there's a spot in the lounge which I'm going to put it in, which doesn't receive any direct light, and it's kind of like down below a window, so it's not getting any bright light streaming in onto it either. So that's where that's going to be. I can take it out of its paper actually, but I've been quite enjoying the lovely print on that paper, which came from Bramble and Wild. That's just what they wrap everything in. So yeah, so that's everything that I got from Bramble and Wild. I had a lovely time in there. The staff were lovely. There were two ladies in there, and they were both just very welcoming and chatty, and we were sort of admiring everything together, and they were helping me sort of make my choices for this lovely thing. And yeah, it was a place that I'd happily go back to and support them, and I'll put them up on screen so that you can check them out. And yeah, it was lovely. I've just had to open a window right here, and the heating's not on. I don't know what's going on. I think I've been racing around getting my blood pumping, hoiking plants and all sorts. So yeah, feeling kind of rosy. Now, all of the plants and lovely things from Pilea Plant Shop. I can't stop saying Pilea. How do you all say it? Because when I first discovered like Pilea peperomioides and various other ones, I only ever saw it written down. When I first started buying plants, I didn't know anyone else keeping plants, and I wasn't in touch with any of the plant community on Instagram or even YouTube for a while, and so I've never heard it said as Pilea before, but suddenly I'm hearing everyone say it that way. And maybe it's one of those things that it's not really right or wrong, just say it how you like, and it's really not a big deal. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say it, but yeah, I'd like to get it right if there is a right way to say it. Sorry, I'm fiddling around with my little Peperomia. Anyway, train of thought has just gone over the hill and far away. Anyway, let's show you what came from Pilea. So the smallest thing I bought there, I actually already have this plant. This is a Peperomia prostrata turtle vine, which I got at the plant swap back in September at Bristol. But it's just so lovely in this little pot which I bought at the plant shop. It's just so cute. It's smaller than most tiny plant pots. I'm trying to find an example. You know, most tiny plant pots are a kind of certain size. This is smaller than that, and it's just really, really rare to find something so dinky. And yeah, it's just perfect for this one, because I think this will stay in there for a while, because it is a real baby plant. And I'll just show you up closer. It is a baby plant, and Peperomia are very happy to have their roots quite cramped. So I don't need to suddenly pot this up as soon as it's growing. It is actually growing. It's got new growth. It's flowering, it's happy, it's got some absolutely teeny little turtles growing in there. You're not going to be able to see it from there, so I'll put a proper close up for you to see, because they are just dinky. They're kind of specks really, they're tiny. Anyway, it's really nice to finally have a lovely pot for this plant that does it justice. Right, the next biggest thing is this lovely Aliccia. It's really cute buying baby Aliccia. I know they grow. It's like getting a puppy or a kitten, isn't it? I know they grow, but they're not gonna get really big really fast, and I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, the great thing about Pilea is that they supply you with lovely printed care cards, and I'm going to show these to you, and I'm going to read out what they all say so that you can hear firsthand the advice for how to look after them. So this one is Alocasia amazonica bambino arrow, or jewel alocasia. And yeah, I chose this one. I thought it was a lovely little shape. Yeah, little pumpkin pot. That was I had that separately. I love the shape of these leaves. They're very, as it says, arrow. They're very long, very pointed. A deep purple on the back. Again, I'll put a close up for you to appreciate it properly. And yeah, I do love alocasia. I just not that experienced with them, and I'm gradually getting more confident because the one that I adopted a few months ago, which was a complete freebie from someone on Facebook who was moving house, kindly offering it for free, and I jumped at it. A friend let me know that it was around, and I was able to go and collect it, and it was a big mature alocasia, I think elephant's ear or similar. I need to check, I always forget its name. But it needed repotting, it needed drainage, and it didn't do any new growth for a while, but just lately it put out its first new leaf for me, and it already has a second one. It's only just finished hardening off, and it's already got a new leaf coming up, so I feel like I feel buoyed up by the success of that one so far, so I didn't feel so scared of buying another alocasia. But so I'm going to read to you what Pilea said about this one. So with the watering, in summer keep soil moist but not soggy, reduce in winter, watering deeply but letting soil dry in between, ensure drainage and well aerated rich soil mix. So it's great, loads of detail, all the different categories listed. So a great thing to keep nearby your planty area, or the plant itself if you need reminding, or to take a photo so that if you lose it you've still got that. I should do that actually. So light, bright light, some morning sun is fine. Loves high humidity, a bathroom or pebble tray, do not mist. Feed half strength liquid feed monthly, spring to summer. And then other tips: keep warm above 18 degrees. Brown leaves equals air too dry. Ultimate height 30 centimeters, likes to be pot bound. That last comment is so helpful to hear, because I think sometimes you get worried about your plant not having enough space for its roots, and if you see any sort of symptoms of ill health, you kind of think, oh, does it need repotting? So it's good to know that you don't need to rush into repotting this alocasia, that it likes its roots to be cramped. So that's the alocasia. Dear little thing. Right, the next one is, rather excitingly, this little Peperomia. This had been on my wish list for a while too. This is a Peperomia polybotra, or polybotra, however you say that, also known as raindrop Peperomia, and it is absolutely beautiful. This is just a pot that I already had. Now, it was 2 weeks ago that I bought this, and I have noticed some little baby leaves pop up on this side, just in there. Try and get the light into it for you. No, it's in the shade, I think. But yeah, those two little leaves, I'm certain they were not there when I bought it, so that's fun. I've just given it a big drink. Now with Peperomias, oh, there's a nice little leaf spike there too. Yeah, Peperomias do not like to sit in a lot of moisture, and they like to dry out between waterings, but they don't like to stay dried out. So when I went to pick this up just now and find it in a pot, I realised that the soil was completely crusty and biscuit dry. So I gave it a nice soak. I sat it in this pot and let the water just fill up all around the whole pot, let it drench in, because it was so dry that it was actually like had a kind of gap around the soil all the way around the edge of the pot. So it was kind of like, yeah, just solid and hard. So yeah, I let it kind of really soak, like a long bath, for about 5 to 10 minutes until it was saturated, then took it out, let it fully drain, tip out all the water, and then I've stuck it back in there. So it has nice moist soil, but there is perlite in there, so it's, you know, it's not sitting in like boggy conditions. It's just nice and damp. It'll get a drink, and the leaves will perk up a bit because they did go a little bit floppy because I'd rather neglected it, but it will be fine. It's not ill, it just needs a drink. So that's all fine. They're beautiful and shiny. This is a relatively young plant, but not a super baby plant. I love the little kind of dot in the middle and how the top bit is. I'm sure there's a scientific name for that, to how it's kind of like joined all the way around the stem like that. But yeah, they're very beautiful, very fleshy. They've got a kind of veining, but it's not a patterned veining like on the surface. It's almost more like an integral vein that you can see through it when it's sort of lit by the light. By the sun. Yeah, and I just think they're a beautiful shape, that kind of circle but coming to a point. So a lot of people think this looks very similar to Pilea peperomioides, hence the name peperomioides, like a peperomia. But obviously this one's not completely round, it is beautifully pointed and teardrop-like, or raindrop-like rather. Yeah, it's always delightful to bring home an extra peperomia because they have a very special place in my heart. They are very varied. There's so many of them, and I think really there is a peperomia for everybody, taste-wise and care-wise. Yeah, I just love them. They're one of the first few houseplants that I started collecting a few years ago, and we actually, I won't give you all the details, and I'm not showing my kids' names, but we actually named our daughter after a type of peperomia. Not, her name is not like really planty, it's just like a derivation of, and it's what kind of led us to her name. And our son was the one that suggested it, and we were like, yeah, well, let's name her that while she's in my tummy, and it can be her cute nickname, which it was. But then, yeah, a different variation of it became her real name. And yeah, so they kind of have this very special place in my heart, and particularly the Rana Verde, which was the one that prompted my son's comment. So yeah, this one is lovely. It's just so deep green, really pea green, and it's a lovely kind of branching shape. I'm not sure where this one's going to live yet. It might live in my workroom on my shelf as I have a little space there. But yeah, it's happy in this pot for now and won't need repotting for quite some time. It's got lots of space in there. Oh, the care card for this one. Let's have a look. So I'll just put that up there. Actually, I might just take a photo and stick it on the screen for you because that will be much clearer than me just waving around a blurry bit of text. So Peperomia polybotria, raindrop peperomia from South America. For water, allow the top of soil to dry between waterings, ensure drainage, reduce watering in winter, do not overwater. Light, bright light out of direct sun, so it doesn't want to be in scorching sun, but it does want full bright light. Humidity, medium, mist regularly. I don't, as I said in a previous video, I don't have a humidifier. Our house is not particularly humidy. That's not a word. Yeah, but I've kept quite a few different peperomia for a few years and it doesn't seem to bother them, but it is something I could improve upon. Where did I get to? Feed, diluted liquid feed monthly in spring to summer. Tips, keep above 10 degrees and away from cold drafts. White rat tail flowers in summer. By rat tail it means, you can see it on this other peperomia. Peperomia don't really have like traditional petally flowers. Can you see that? Okay, so they're just these long sort of antlery things. So yeah, they're quite bizarre looking, but that's how peperomia flower. So yeah, rat tail flowers in summer. It's not summer now, it's middle of October, but you know, they do what they like when they're happy, don't they? Prune and propagate leggy growth and keep pot bound. So I guess if this gets like really long, I can just prune it back and take cuttings from that, which is always fun. It's always fun to propagate peperomia. So that's that one. Very happy with this. Next is this lovely beast. Look how pink it is. It is so sun stressed. This was in the window when I went into Pilea plant shop. It was in the window at the front of the shop and there weren't any others, and I rather fell in love with it because I do get a bit excited by pink plants. I don't know why. I love green, but I do think that pink is a very nice complementary colour to green, and this one is absolutely deep pink, especially on the underside. Again, I'll try and put a photo up because I think it's a bit bit silhouette-y for you there. Yeah, it's nice and traily. Now I love this visually, I think it's gorgeous, but I do, and I'm glad to have it, but I am feeling a little bit silly for buying something that is a succulent, because I just don't think I'm very suited to looking after succulents, because I love watering and I get really worried about neglecting succulents. And I find the level really hard to strike with succulents. I don't normally buy them myself at all, but we have a few in the house for our kids who love them. This is really dry at the moment. I think I gave this a little water the other day because it was like a little pellet of soil. Yeah, I just am slightly wary that I might not do what this needs. But I really love it and it's beautiful. This pot was really cheap in a junk shop today, and I just quite like it. Quite sort of tulipy, and it's quite big for the plant, but the plant's trailing over the edge, so I think it looks quite nice. I'm going to read to you the care card and let's see what it tells us. So Crassula marginalis is the name. There are so many different crassula. I think we have a few different ones already, which I don't know what types they are. So watering, allow soil to dry fully between waterings, ensure drainage, reduce watering in winter. Light, full sun, being careful of hot midday summer sun. So yeah, where have I got this one? I've got this in my workroom and it's getting quite a lot of bright light, but I might pop it on this windowsill here because this gets a lot of bright sun. And I think it might be better, and also I will see it more often in here than in my workroom, and so will everybody else, in fact. And I think it's one that the kids will enjoy seeing as well. Anyway, humidity low. Feed diluted liquid succulent feed every month in spring to summer. And other tips: keep above 10 degrees, keep pot bound, do not overwater. Part of the money plant family, easy to propagate. Actually, a couple of bits have fallen off and I've put them in a separate little pot. They're about 3 different pieces. I think I knocked it when I was, oh, see, there's a leaf that's already fallen off. Yeah, I don't know how they fell off. I think I knocked them, but I need to check whether I'm doing things right for this already, because there's a few brown leaves down in amongst the stems, and I'm going to pull those off, and then I'll see if they continue to keep going brown. But yeah, I think I need more advice from any of you who are experts with crassulas so that I get this right. I don't want to ruin this plant. I haven't seen it before, and it is really beautiful being so pink. Oh my gosh, there's a mealybug on it. Oh, how dare you. Okay, well, that's a job to do later. I wonder how many there are. How pesky. Oh, for goodness sake. I feel like I'm discovering a different pest in the house every day right now. What is going on? I do have quite enough to do without having to deal with that. Never mind. Right, there's only one that I can see so far. I do have some rubbing alcohol at hand. Oh no. Anyway, maybe that's why some of the leaves were going brown. Maybe it's not me, maybe it's just the bugs. Anyway, so that's that one. Very beautiful. Ooh. Okay, so the last one is a Hoya. Now, I'm quite new to appreciating Hoya. I don't know why it took me a while to fully appreciate them, but I don't know, there's a lot of plants out there, and I think I was naturally drawn to certain other ones to begin with, and I didn't know anything about Hoya. I didn't know anybody with a Hoya. I know they're really popular, and a lot of people would say a lot of them are quite a beginner plant, but anyway, I'm now getting acquainted and I do really appreciate them. So I've got a couple of different Hoyas, but they're young, they're cuttings, they're very little. Now this is a proper whack of a Hoya. It's all good and long and dangly and mature. So there we go. This is a Hoya Australis. Look at those big, lovely, loby leaves. There's a second stem here, which is doing really well. And yeah, I just love how long and dangly this is. This is in my hallway, and it's lovely because you see it from several different doorways when you're going around the house, and I just think it's beautiful. I love the size of the leaves and how lobey and round they are. It's a nice sort of variation when you've got loads of different shapes of leaves. So yeah, I just love having something like this that's all rounded. So I'm going to read to you about this one. So it's also known as a wax plant. It's from Indonesia and Australia. Let the top half of soil dry between waterings. Do not overwater. Water sparingly in winter, ensure drainage. Keep in a bright spot out of hot midday sun, can adapt to light shade. So where I have it in the hallway, it's getting some bright light, no direct light really. And I think I might need to invest in a grow light in the hallway for the coming winter because it's not a very bright spot for very long. It spends quite a lot of the day being on the dingy side. But yeah, I think that obviously Hoya prefer being in a brighter spot, but they can tolerate a lower light spot. So that's where it is at the moment. Humidity high, mist regularly or in a bathroom setting. Feed weak liquid feed every month through spring to summer. And then other tips: keep warm above 16 degrees, avoid cold drafts. Okay, so it might not like my hallway then because it's right by the front door. Oh, it looks so nice up high on a shelf though. I'll have to find a better place for it. Avoid cold drafts or heat sources. Produces pink star-shaped flowers in summer. Use rainwater. Oh, I'm glad I read this card again because I'd forgotten about the rainwater. I've been keeping tap water overnight and letting it sort of settle so that it's happy, so that my calatheas are happier with it, and also my carnivorous plants. But yeah, make sure that I save some for the Hoya too. Okay, that's all of the plants, and yeah, I love them all, and it was just so nice meeting all the lovely people in Frome and exploring, and yeah, it was really nice to chat with Lula and Max, her assistant. And there's one more thing to show you from Pilea, which is a bit of a treasure. As you saw in the video, they had a lovely wall of planty greetings cards, a really gorgeous range of them, and through that I discovered an illustrator I didn't already know. She is called Rachel Hillis, and yeah, these are two of her designs that were in the gift shop. There was another one that I loved, but it was more of a cactus design, and I'm not the biggest fan of cactus, so these are the ones that I appreciated more for me, but it was a gorgeous illustration. And yeah, I've since been onto her Instagram account and website, and it's full of just very, very beautiful drawings and illustrations and paintings. So and she does little jigsaw puzzles, and yeah, she's really lovely, and she's got just lovely content, lovely subject matter, and I just really like her style. It's a nice illustrative style, and yeah, so this one's called Greyhound, which is very lovely. I'll put a close-up in, and this one is called Henry Rousseau's Dream. So these I'm going to pop in some little frames and put them on the wall, and at one stage I dream of owning a nice big print of one of them or a different one. That one actually looks like a Hoya Australis. I may be wrong. I wonder, Rachel, was that meant to be a Hoya Australis or some other Hoya or something else? But yeah, that is exactly the same shaped leaf, so it could well be. So yeah, so do check out her art and see if you can buy something from her in the future, because yeah, she's very talented. I think that's everything. It's been really nice to show you all, and now I can put everything where it needs to be. So that's lovely. Yeah, so I'd recommend Frome if you want a day out in Somerset. There's loads of surrounding gorgeousness like Glastonbury Tor, which is not like on the doorstep, but it's fairly nearby, and Street, and yeah, just I'm in Somerset. It's a lovely county, so try it out. So yeah, it's been a joy. I just wanted to come back to my ZZ plant to show you, now that I've taken the paper off it, I can see down into the base of the plant better, and it's just so gorgeous. It makes me love it even more. The stems, look at them. They are so wide and just, yeah, they're just so wonderfully plump and fat and a little bit stripy. And yeah, they're just like a real forest in there. They're just so solid, and I just really love this plant. It's so completely gorgeous. I don't know why I haven't had one before, but yeah, I was very ready for this one. It's so stately and tall, and I love the fact that it's meant to be so easy to look after because it's just so gorgeous. I really hope that it will be just happy here. I do find, this might sound a bit ridiculous, but I sometimes find that the easier plants aren't easy for me. I don't know, maybe it's because I want to be doing jobs for them. So the plants that like repotting, the plants that need pruning or whatever, I just like that. I like taking care of plants. I like having jobs that need doing. I like being busy with my plants, and maybe I find it hard to just ignore a plant. I mean, I don't have to ignore it in terms of giving it attention and enjoying looking at it, but I don't know, I sort of feel like I should be doing something for them. So I need to sort of switch off that that kind of natural reflex and just let them be. So yeah, it doesn't mind drying out, and I need to not mind it either. But yeah, I just think the shape of these are so beautiful. They're so arching, and the way the leaves form slightly to the front of each one, so it's got a definite back to each stem. Yeah, isn't it just gorgeous? Just had to show you. Also, I forgot to say, it's got a little baby shoot coming up just here. It's kind of weird. I guess this is what they're like. It's kind of like a little, just a little point, a little bit like Sansevieria, but yeah, it's just this little slightly curling over point just there. So it'll be really fun to watch that come up and get taller, and yeah, see the first leaves unfurl on this ZZ plant, because I've never seen it do that before. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, please like and follow and share and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!